Hello everyone. So it is day one of the writing retreat and I'm trying to wake up. I'm very tired. I spent all weekend at Y'all Fest and the week before that I was just hanging around in Charleston and having like a little mini getaway with my husband, but I haven't been sleeping super well. It is time to get to work. It's time to start writing. It's time to start getting things done. I have so much to do. So my original plan was that I was going to read over the first draft of my YA thriller, Project Pyro, and was gonna look over my revision notes and maybe start figuring some of those out and maybe start drafting the second draft. But now I just got some copy edits back for Tobe, the Odd Book, which is the second book in my Scholastic middle grade deal. And we kind of have a lot to do with that. So first of all, we need to nail down a title because the book has not been called Tobe or The Odd Book. As far as I know, I mean, who knows, maybe The Odd Book will stick. But I need to brainstorm some titles and really get it nailed down so we can figure out, you know, what to call the book going forward, because Scholastic Sales Conference is in December and that's when they start like pitching the book and getting the different departments of Scholastic really excited about the project. So we need something to call it. Both me and my editor right now are spending a lot of time trying to figure out, you know, brainstorm lists and figure out what the book is going to be called. So I need to do that, number one. Number two, the copy edits obviously need to be done, but we have a situation where Tobe needs to be trimmed down, so I need to work on that a little bit. Basically, from my understanding, there's this whole thing when books are bought in 2-book deals, whatever the word count or page count allowance for the first book is basically what's allowed for the second book. And as those of you who have lovingly bought The Glass Witch already know, it's a very short book. It's a very small book. It is 36,000 words. And it's the exact story that it needed to be. But Tobe is much bigger, it's much different. It's gothic, so it's moody and like atmospheric, a bit slower in some ways, and it needs more room to breathe. But we only have the printing page count budget for so many pages because of the way, I don't know if it's publishing in general or just Scholastic that does these, like, your books need to be similarly sized when we buy them in deals together. I don't know. So we've got a trim. I have to figure out where the trimming is going to happen. My wonderful editor Tiffany is going to help me. She's hoping we can just do like lines here or words here. Like if we just get rid of like maybe like one word per page, we can hit the threshold we need to be at. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it goes well. I was so excited on this writing retreat to be working on my thriller, so I still want to be working on the thriller. So I think I'm going to work on Tobe in the morning and the thriller in the evening. I think that vibe feels correct. So I'm also going to try to continue vlogging. It is so pretty here. I want to get some clips of the beach and go around this cute little town. We are still in South Carolina right now on a place called Folly Beach, and it's adorable. So I'm just gonna continue to wear my cozy like Stephen King New England sweaters, and it's cold here. It's like 50 degrees and I'm like, oh, this is perfect, like cold beach weather. Like, yes, I'm loving it. So anyways, I need to get started on some stuff, but I just thought I would update you, let you know what's happening, and yeah, pray for me. I would go ahead and do an update because I haven't been doing a lot of updating while I've been here. I kind of just made the decision when I got here that I wanted to like kind of just, you know, like live in the moment and make sure I'm really enjoying being here and getting a lot of work done. So I've kind of been not picking up the camera as much, and I'm not that upset about it, to be honest. So we went to the beach last night and it was absolutely amazing. I'm sure that I showed you guys some clips of that, and I wanted to show you this really freaking cool piece of like crystal quartz granite that I found on the beach. It's so pretty and I feel like it's so much more shiny than what is coming up on camera, but I was like, oh my gosh, like what are the chances? So anyways, I feel like it was fate. I found this little crystal and I'm so happy. But anyways, on to the work stuff. So every day I have been going back and forth between doing copy edits in the morning and then working, or copy edits for the odd book in the morning, and then working on Project Pyro in the afternoon. And that's actually been working really well for me. I've gotten 5 chapters in the prologue into the odd book, and that's going decently well. And then with Project Pyro, I needed to do a couple things. I needed to finish some research that I was doing for one of the characters, and I needed to figure out a timeline, which I was kind of putting off because I knew it would be very difficult, because I've got the main storyline, which is linear, going through, and then I have little excerpts in between certain chapters that are completely out of order, and they always are ahead of wherever I am in the real story to kind of like foreshadow something that's gonna happen soon. So it's been kind of difficult figuring that all out. The good news is I finally got it done, and I officially started draft 2 of Project Pyro last night. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff is happening. Another really exciting piece of news is that I got to see sketches of the cover for the odd book. I also have a title now for the odd book, and it is something that my editor came up with, and the marketing team really loved it. I was pretty neutral on what we were gonna call it anyways, which was very strange because I feel like if they had tried to retitle The Glass Witch, I would have been very upset. But with this book, I was like, I've just been calling it the odd book, but like if someone can come up with a better title, like that would be great. And so Tiffany did, and she just sent it to the team, who in turn sent it to the cover designer. And so I kind of found out what my title was by seeing the sketches of my cover. I mean, granted, I knew like a day or 2 before that happened, but I was just thinking that cover was already in production, so I was like, that would have been funny if I would have gotten those sketches in just like a day before, and that's how I found out what the what the title was. Publishing, man, it's a monstrous beast. So the cover itself, oh my gosh, well, first of all, when I first saw it pop up, it's so different from what I expected. I think it's just because Taube in essence is a, like, I don't know, gothic mystery set in a manner, so I was expecting like the type of covers that we see normally with like haunted spooky houses on them. But then once I was kind of like, okay, it doesn't have to look like all of these other covers, which is a good thing because like you don't want your book to look like every other cover that's out there. I was like, oh, I like that. The color scheme is so different, and it was the same thing with The Glass Witch. When I first saw the cover for that, I was like, I would have never expected blue. I thought like Halloween-y colors like orange or purple or green or something like that, but I never would have thought blue, and I absolutely loved it. And I feel the same way with the cover of Taube. There are some colors in there that I'm like, I would never have like even thought of that cover or that color, and it really works. I think I have the same cover artist, Vanessa Morales. Like, she is so like amazingly talented. I love everything that she does, and yeah, I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's so freaking cool. It's so freaking cool. And it was awesome because I was sitting in there with everybody else who's on the writing retreat when I got the email, and I like immediately was able to like show my friends the cover, and they were like, oh my god. It was really awesome. I'm trying to think of what I can say about it. It has my 2 main characters on the cover. Well, my main character and her sidekick on the cover, which I'm very excited about. There is the manor, but it's a bit different. It's a bit different, and I really like it. I really like it. I can't wait to show you guys. It's so exciting. I think that's pretty much it. It's been really great. It's been relaxing. It's fun to have this big old fancy house where we all can just like get together and you know, hang out in the evenings and work together through the day. I think that there's like this like shared atmosphere of like productivity and focus that's really nice. But then at night we get in the hot tub and chat and just like, I don't know, have a great time. 10 out of 10 for everything happening in my life right now. Hey everyone, I am home now and I thought I would take a minute to show you all of the things that I got from the Charleston trip. First of all, just know I didn't go too wild because I only had so much room in my suitcase. So I knew I wasn't going to buy a lot of stuff. Well, first of all, I brought some books with me because I knew that some authors were going to be there and I wanted to get the books signed by them, right? So of course I was going to be hanging out with Lizelle the whole time. So I brought all of the books of hers that I have and she so lovingly signed them for me, and I'm just so excited to have Lizelle's signature on everything. On her new book, Delicious Monsters, she said, "I couldn't have done it without you." If you didn't know, this is gonna be the New York Times best-selling, amazing book that's gonna be turned to a movie, and it's gonna be incredible because it's so freaking good. And I beta read it, so like I basically wrote it. There were two authors that I was really excited to meet that were gonna be at Y'all Fest, and one of them was TJ Klum from House on the Cerulean Sea. This is literally my everything. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I literally named my puppy Chauncey after the character Chauncey in here. And I got to tell TJ Klum that when I met him, and he was like, oh my gosh, like he is a Chauncey, like you couldn't have chosen any other name. And I was like, I know. So in my book he wrote "Be like Chauncey." Okay, I totally forgot to grab Witchlings because I met Clarabelle as well. And she is so sweet and so nice and so funny. She loved Brian's shirt. He wore his like "By My Wife's" middle grade book Ask Me How, and she thought that was like the funniest thing, so she was like taking pictures with him. And then later on at the festival we were just walking around and we ran into her, and Brian like I don't know if he just like forgot who she was or whatever. Anyway, he started pitching my book to her and he was like, yeah, you should totally buy it, like it's by Scholastic, like do you know who Scholastic is? It's the cutest thing ever. And she was like, oh my gosh, I love your husband, he's out here really doing the Lord's work. And then next there were a bunch of little booths all around, so I got some good ones, mainly from the Simon & Schuster booth. They had, first of all, they had these daisy seeds for Lizelle's Delicious Monsters book, which is really cool because the main character's name is Daisy, so like I'm definitely gonna plant these in the spring. And I got a couple stickers from a few of their books coming out. Spells of the for Lost Things, I believe, is like a witchy romance. And then I also got this one for Luminary, and this is like a non-fiction witchy book for teens, which I was like what a brand. And then while I was hanging out with Lizelle, she brought some swag for me. So she had these Blood Like Fae, Blood Like Magic bookmarks made. They're really nice, like soft touch, high quality, like way better than mine. It's fine. And then she also made postcards for Delicious Monsters, which is so cute. So I'm really excited to have like all this swag. Okay, moving away from Y'all Fest and going into the other parts of my trip. One of the days, me and my husband went to the aquarium, and I'm like, of course I had to get something from the aquarium, right? I just got this really cute pullover. It's like this nice green that's very me, and it's got this little sea turtle on him, and like it was a good choice. There's nothing on the back, it's just very simple, and I'm like, I have it and I get to remember it forever. So we also went shopping. So we stayed in a hotel in downtown Charleston, which downtown Charleston is so cool. It's like a really like hip college town, so there was like a bunch of shops and boutiques and amazing restaurants. And yeah, we just had a whole day where we just shopped. And I stopped in Aerie and I actually got this pullover. It is one of the softest, most amazing things ever. Like I just want to like just go like this and just disappear. Like, oh, I can't get it to go, but like it's just like this forever. I also got this sweater. It's like a gray green color. Love it as well. I also really love it because Books and Lala has the same one, but hers is like in beige, and I was like, oh my gosh, twins. Again, this is the softest thing ever. It's literally called butter sweater, like a butter cut sweater or something like that. Amazing, amazing. Oh, and the last piece of clothing, okay, this is from Y'all Fest. I wanted to get some kind of t-shirt or something. I don't wear a lot of white, and I definitely don't wear bright colors, but I thought this was cute. It was just like a regular t-shirt, but I cropped it. It says Y'all West on it, and then on the back Upper King Street, Charleston. Okay, and then now officially moving deeper into the trip. When we were on our writing retreat, we had to stop by the grocery store, get some food, and of course they had the mini mystery Squishmallow packs. So of course I got one, and I ended up getting Manny, who is the perfect little adorable snowman, and he ended up being like the mascot of my whole trip, and I love him very dearly. So yeah, that is everything I got on the trip. So I don't actually know how I'm putting all of this footage together. So I thought I would just pop in here real quick and we could kind of talk about, or I could fill in the blanks of what I didn't show. All of my friends that I went on the writing retreat with were showing up on Friday and Saturday, and we were gonna hang out for the weekend. And then all of the husbands were gonna go home, and the rest of us were gonna go to our beach house. But me and my husband hadn't taken a trip yet this year, and so I was like, let's me and you just go down a bit early, have a couple days to spend in Charleston together and sightsee. That was really, really fun. Me and my husband did a ghost tour, which was so fun. I mean, he was a little anxious for it, but it ended up being fine. We got to go around to like one of the oldest graveyards in Charleston. There was literally a grave there from like the 1670s. It was wild. And we got to walk around the city and like learn a lot about, you know, the history and the ghostiness of it all. It's just very, very me. Like if I'm gonna go to a town or a city, I'm gonna find the most like, I don't know, kitschy, cheesy thing to do, and then I'm gonna do it. We ended up going to a lot of really nice restaurants and spending a lot of money, but it was like totally worth it and very fun. Brian got a bunch of seafood, a lot of oysters. I don't eat those, but he was down for it, so got that. A whole day shopping in downtown Charleston, and then we spent a day at the aquarium, which was really fun. We ended up feeding the stingrays, which was a very interesting situation. They're like little dogs, like they're so sweet. And I was talking to the stingray keeper, and she said, yeah, like some of them just have different personalities, and like if you put your hand in there, like there's some that just like swim right up to you and like rub up against your hand because they like want affection. And I'm like, that's freaking adorable. And then the rest of the ladies came in for the writing retreat, and Kevin, and we all went out to dinner that night and breakfast in the morning, and then Brian left and we went to our beach house retreat. We were there for 4 days and I got a lot of work done. I officially got into my copy edits. I think I was like 10 chapters in by the time I left, which was great. This is for the Odd book. And I also officially started my second draft of my thriller, which is exciting too. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to get that far into it. I thought I would still be working on like timeline stuff and some research stuff, but I ended up working so hard that I finished all that and got through the first little excerpt at the beginning of my book and into chapter 1. So it was a great trip overall. My friends were also vlogging, so as their vlogs go up, I will link them down below so you can also check them out. I already watched Lainey's and it was like very aesthetic and nice. Like, way better than anything I can do over here. But yeah, I had a wonderful time. I'm glad that I was able to share some of it with you guys, but really I'm glad I just got to experience it, you know? So anyways, this is where I'm going to leave you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, you can order The Glass Witch, my debut middle grade novel, down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.